Connolly, you're the spitting image of yourself.
Billy Connolly. Now, the Scots call him the Big Yin, but mainly that's for his height, but also because he's probably the biggest thing ever from Scotland. He's also one of the funniest comedians of our time.
It's kind of weird. Your Willie looks like an old-age pensioner. I didn't know it went grey.
He has outraged audiences, critics, and of course the media with his free use of my favorite word. Throw in some masturbation, some flatulence, and a bit of the sex. How about some blasphemy?
Jesus would come in the room and they were all eating Chinese takeaways. And he says, where'd you get that? He said, oh, Judas bought them. He seems to have come into some money.
All that mixed in, and what you've got is an unconventional dude. But did you know Billy actually started out on stage as a folk singer way back in 1965, and he was in a band that had an awful name called the Humble Bums. That eventually led to a career in stand-up and movies like The Last Samurai, White Oleander, Mrs. Brown, Lemony Snicket's, and a monster list of comedy specials.
I never make it to the end. I crumble.
The thing about Billy Connolly is Billy can push the envelope, but as it always works with comedy, if you push the envelope and you're dumb, it's boring. It's not that interesting at all. But Billy is smart, and he knows how to push people's boundaries. He's got a tour going on called Too Old to Die Young, and he's got a DVD with that. And he ain't too afraid of going after the Presbyterians. Check it out.
There's a town there called Dunedin, which is a dreary town. It's got that Scottish Presbyterian feel about it. And there's a few of them around the place, you know. Scottish Presbyterians were a dreary fucking bunch. And they like taking it to other places and doing that. They did it all over Canada. Fucking dreary, dreary. Bring out your dead, dreary. Dreary, fucking dreary. Where'll we go? I don't know. Where's the drizzle? Follow the drizzle.
Billy Connolly is one funny dude, and a great time with him when he dropped by the hour. How are you, sir?
Very well,
nice
very well. It's nice to be in your show.
Thank you.
It's nice to be with someone with as good clothing sense as I have.
Black and jeans, it works. You're wearing a T-shirt with tails in your DVD. Where do you find that?
Yeah, it's a guy called Stephen King in London used to make them. He went out of business. I don't know if it was because of stuff like, but he was very hot for a while, and I loved his T-shirts. I never met anyone else who bought one, but I.
That could explain why they went out of business.
But I took to them for the stage. I've always kind of believed that when you walk on stage, people who have never seen you before shouldn't be sure about what you're going to do.
I've watched you do this, perform many times. I read your book when I was in high school. A friend of mine named Ryan Smith, your book Gullible's Travels went all over the place, Gullible's Travels, and we watched you sort of address what's going on in the world, certainly of the time. As you get older, and I watched this new DVD, you open with this aging thing, and has it changed for you, being funny, talking about the world, observing when you're 60 plus rather than being 30?
It's changing all the time. I just like to talk about things the way they are, the way I see them, but also the way I see myself. You know, my hair's falling out, and I don't hear as good as I used to. I wear bloody glasses. That's cruel, because your memory and your eyes go at the same time. So you would happily wear your glasses, but you can never remember where you left them. It plays little tricks on you, you know.
But is that weird for you? Because you always seem like you had this confidence when you walk around. Does it change?
No, I'm just as happy and confident as I ever was. Yeah. I can't believe it's still there. I can't believe, that I can still do it.
You do something on this new routine where it doesn't seem like a routine. You talk about your father's health, right? And the stroke.
The stroke
and
stuff.
It becomes a bit, but it doesn't seem like it's completely a bit.
Yeah.
Did you?
It's true.
Yeah. So was it hard for you to put that into your act?
No. I'm kind of ruthless about my own life and the things that happened around me.
But you didn't do a lot of sex jokes in the beginning because your daughter was in the audience.
No, that's not true.
No, the first half an hour you said you even said I'm not doing as many sex jokes as I normally do because your daughter was there.
Really, that's very odd. Because I did a show in Ireland. One of my daughters was there, Scarlett, and after the show, she came backstage, and I said, "Hey, babe, did you enjoy it?" And she said, "Oh, it was great." Now then, she'd be like 16 or something, 15. And I said, "What did you like best?" And she said, I'd been talking about piercings, but I said people are getting the weirdest things pierced, you know, the women are getting all sorts of stuff pierced. I said, can you imagine going down there and there's wind chimes hanging, you see? And she, that was her favourite bit of the show.
Nice.
The woman with the wind chimes hanging from her vagina. So your conception of dirty or sexy has to change. The whole thing to me is intent. You know, you can say pretty damn much as you please, as long as your intent is absolutely right.
Did you ever do it wrong? Were you ever the guy on stage where you did a bit and went, that didn't work?
I did a thing off stage to a pal of mine. He was performing, he had braces on his legs, and he used to do that song Dimples, and he did it bottleneck guitar, and I was in the audience with all my pals, and he's a great pal of mine, and he said, does everybody want to hear anything? And I didn't know the song was called Dimples, and I said, I like the way you walk, which is the opening line.
Right.
I like the way you walk, dude. But of course he's got braces on his leg. And suddenly the frost came in the room, you know. Because all the eyes, you bastard. You heartless swine. But he knows I love him. I would never do that in a million years.
You still get nervous before you go on stage? You get that anxiety still?
Oh, God, aye. It's hellish. I don't shiver and shake, and because it happens over a couple of days, you know. It builds up with anxiety thing, and it manifests itself in a most awful way. I forget everything that I know. You know, it's just going, where do I start? What do I say? Oh God, I forget. What was that thing I wrote down? Oh, I don't know. It's just, it all goes away, and then when they go, ladies and gentlemen, this thing, you get inflated. Billy Caroof, you're out there, you're in it. And it's all adrenaline, coffee, anger. You know, I hate, blah, 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 out it pours. And I'll never understand it as long as I live, and I don't want to. I love to be there on the same night as it happens, you know, and it overtakes your body, and I think evangelists are the closest you get to what we do.
You're speaking in tongues and you're just going.
Speaking in tongues. Yeah, just bloody, blah, la, la, la. Do you think evangelists believe that stuff?
I certainly do.
No, when they go, naga, yama, naga, zaga, baga.
I think some of them do. The ones you don't pay do. I think the ones you pay, I think it's just a good act for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. You ever get into that, televangelism?
I love it. I love it. I was watching a man last night, Paul Popov. And he's got magic water. He sends you magic water in a...
Holy water kind of water?
Aye, it's from... where was that nuclear accident in Russia?
Chernobyl?
Chernobyl. It's from Chernobyl. They found a holy well in Chernobyl where the water is pure.
Too bad they didn't find it before the accident.
Bet they never sent the children along that route. And but he'll send you this water, and there's another Ainsley. Ernest Ainsley. He's got no neck. Yeah. And Ernest Ainsley. He's the one who does Markles. M-U-R-K-L-E-S. It's a Markle.
He's huge, Ainsley.
Oh, Ainsley's enormous.
But
I love them. I think they're brilliant.
Doing the kind of comedy you do now, where you play in America, you play in Canada, you play in England, Scotland, do you find that the religious overtones affect the audience differently?
They do, religion, but I seem to be getting more and more religion in my show, you know, as pedophile priests and violent Muslims and the whole thing. And
hey, you saw what happened when the Danes printed cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad.
Yes.
Did that change the way you did Muslim jokes?
No, I don't do Muslim jokes really. I talk about the real thing, and I don't actually care much what people think about it. But it's poets and comedians, that's their job, to say the unsayable, and to be confrontational and to make light of the darkness. You know, God knows there's plenty of people out there dealing in darkness, and it's a pleasure to have a job like that, to point out that actually there's a good laugh out here.